You're right, Gangrene UK. You're back for episode 28. I'm with James and Kane, and we're going to talk about the devastation that was the trip to Foxborough and the Jets game against the Patriots. We have left it a few days, guys, because let's face it, it wasn't a great game. I feel like we all needed a little bit to get over that. So, how are we feeling a couple of days removed?
You good, chance.
Yeah. Pretty hard watch, as I think it was for all fans, to be honest. Well, especially with Zach going down, just was bad on all levels, and running it up on us in the end. It was not a great day, but without Zach, we were never going to win that game. So you've got to take it as it is. It was always going to be a development season. So next two games might be rough, but we'll hopefully come back this year and carry on the development. But we'll see.
Yeah, it says it all when we need a few days to process it and think what we're going to say. But yeah, it was crap that Zach got injured, but at least it's not as bad as it could be. And the whole team didn't play very well. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it all, and watched the game in 40, which was harder to watch than the actual game. But you know what? It wasn't as bad as what we thought. It was genuinely. I've got 4, maybe 5 highlights and good points from the game. But I think what we'll quickly do is we'll move between us and we'll talk about some of the lesser so. What let you down the most, Kane?
The defense, to be honest. D-line, no pressure. Cornerbacks, I think, held their own in a way, but the running backs just always seem to get through, especially without Mosley as well. The safeties just have to get coming down and tackling the running backs.
You, James?
Yeah. Similar, really. Defense, it felt like they were maybe giving up a bit in that second half, and there was a lot of Johnny Smith or the tight ends running out the backfield, and they didn't have a man on them, and they were just running for easy first downs, and didn't look like we had any chance of stopping the run game all day. Just a poor showing altogether, I'd say, for the defense.
Yeah, defense was difficult to watch. But I think when you look at the Patriots O-line, and the fact that Mac Jones is the biggest check down hero of the league, it makes it very difficult, because if you go at him, he does what Matty Ice does, and he gets it out quick and puts it in that gap on the flat, and they're going to kill you every time. But then if you give him too much time, he can unload it and get it out, because the likes of the tight ends. And to be fair, pretty much most of their players could get separation at the weekend. I think the Jets stats came back that they were the slowest team in the league last weekend, which is bizarre.
What do you mean slowest?
The slowest in actual recorded speed. So, which is bizarre. I mean, I don't know how to work that out.
Yeah.
But I can agree with what you're saying. Defense was the biggest shock, I think. I mean, I'd never expect a rookie quarterback to go in and do well against the Belichick defense.
No, not at all.
But their offense, it didn't look that good. I just think it was a bad game plan based on what they did to us in week 2.
We probably planned off the first time we played them, and they played completely different to the first time that we played them.
Which that's what they can do, because they have got an established roster.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying this Pats team's crap. They're not. They're still a Bill Belichick system team, and they have got legitimate players.
Yeah, it's money in free agency.
And last year when they were bad, they had 18 players on opt-out. They had the players that we've got on IR this year opting out.
Yeah.
Now, on defense, there were some bright sparks for me.
Yeah.
Now, Ashton Davis,
I know he's going to say that.
considering he came back from an injury, he probably stopped 3 or 4 scores. Now, at no point do we think that Ashton Davis is 100% starter, superstar ready, but to come back from an injury where I don't think he's played this year, and then to put up a performance where I think in total there was 3 tackles that he made in pretty much open field that stopped scores.
He got those second most tackles as well out of all defensive players.
And he looked like he was flying around all day and laying some big hits as well. I think laying the hardest hits of the day, kind of like what Quincy was doing the other week.
Yeah, I mean, 11 total tackles, 1 assisted tackle. You can't grumble with that.
No,
the only one who had more than him was Marcus May, who I was disappointed with because he got ran over twice. Now, May's always been really good at run stop.
Yeah.
And the Pats running backs ain't that big. So what happened there?
I think it shows how not weak, but like thin our linebackers are at the moment. How easy it was for them to get through and for the safeties have to come down and make all the tackles, basically.
Yeah, well, we've always plugged the hole with safeties. It's the way the system works. It's the same as when we pull a linebacker and bring in an extra cornerback, which that's
you normally see like Sherwood or Mosley with the most tackles or the cornerbacks, but this time it's safeties both.
Yeah, I think that was going to happen though. I mean, I think Sherwood's a great player, but essentially what we did to him this week was we put him in that Sam Darnold situation where Sam was seeing ghosts. I think Sherwood was seeing Sam's ghost, his own ghost, and then the ghost from next week, because you've got a rookie who has never had to call the defensive players and recorrect up against, well, he is the greatest defensive coach probably to ever coach the game. Who, I mean, some of the looks that Bill throws at you, like, oh, there's a 3-man blitz, and then they blitz 5, but they've got 20, and you just don't know how he does it.
Change the scheme every week as well for whatever team they're playing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was watching one earlier, like a rerun of a play, and it was perfect. Judon looked like he was coming off the edge, and like the ball got snapped in about 3 seconds. Judon, you're like, he's still coming on the edge, and then when he threw, Judon was in coverage, and you're like, Judon ain't that fast. Definitely not that athletic.
It's just a key piece.
I mean, do they have a teleporter? Or, yeah, on defense for me, Ashton Davis looked good. It was good to have him back. I thought Eccles was a lot better, and a lot of people have slagged him off, saying he wasn't in the game. I heard him more than a lot of players.
He made a lot of tackles.
Yeah, I mean, Carter was about the same as he normally is. He was there. I think you were right, Kane. Most of the cornerbacks did okay at what we thought. I mean, got a laugh at Blake Cashman, comes back in, goes out. He's now in concussion protocol. Yeah. But he's not on anybody's list of can't stay on the field, what Ashton Davis is. Ashton Davis gets one serious injury and he's written off because he can't get on the field. But Blake Cashman, he makes it back for 20 minutes, goes off again. He won't be in this week because he won't clear protocol. Rankins, Fatakasi, they were fine. They just weren't getting through the line. But it's the Patriots line. They did well.
Didn't
Rankins get rough in the passer at one point?
You got very bad.
Yeah, I believe he did, yeah.
On season 1.
Now, I thought we got
he jumped the line. Yeah.
Didn't we get 2?
No, sorry, we did. We got Phillips got one. But yeah, I thought we got one later on where there was 2 of them get through. but it's not recorded on the stat sheet. So, yeah, I don't know on that. I thought Berrios was non-existent.
Yeah.
Even on the returns, though, I mean, 75 yards for 3. It's just what he does. It's 25 yards a time. I thought Amendola, you can't really dig him for missing a kick because he's not getting enough chances. Like, he was 0 for 1, and we didn't even go for the extra point. He's a rookie kicker. It's like, what more do you want from him?
Yeah, I like Amendola.
Now, when we move over the offensive side of the ball, any positives, any negatives?
Positive is Michael Carter. I think definitely establishing that running back 1 position. Maybe, at some, I think you said it in the chat, where if we counted his runs going side to side, he'd have 100 yards already because he knows how to make a man miss, and catching the ball out of the backfield, I think he can be a real weapon for this team going forward.
Michael Carter jumped off the table, smashed all the chairs, got back on the table and dropped his pants at the weekend because he took total advantage of the fact that he was getting 1, 2, 3 downs because everybody went, oh, he's too small. He's not the man for it. But we all know that this coaching staff love a running back that can get lost 5 yards down the field, get a ball, make a man miss, and get some yards, which I think we've got with Carter and Johnson. I was a little bit upset not to see P. Ryan because he was kitted up.
No one was really putting in good runs. It was worth giving him 1 or 2 tries. You would have thought anyway. Yeah.
And now the other thing is he back to where we want him to be, or was he a week off? Because actually, against Cincinnati, with that style of runner, it might actually be better to put him in with no game tape, so they don't know what to expect. Because apparently he's bigger this year, he's faster this year, because all he's done is train. So that could be an interesting one. I'm not upset with Carter. I think Carter handled what we give him very well. I thought the rushing, you can't rush behind Greg Van Roten.
No, I mean
that's the problem.
He's got to get benched this week. Like Feeney can't be much worse, can he?
But see, I was saying this, I think last week. Feeney's down as our backup centre.
Yeah.
So let's move McGovern to guard for a couple of games, put Feeney in the middle, let him run centre, because anything's got to be better than what we had in. I mean, I think Morgan Moses was awful.
Yeah.
Now, I'm excited for Becton to come back in 3 weeks because it's looking like we'll get Becton and Zach back at the same time.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it's a good thing, but we've now got 2 solid left tackles, a solid left guard, and then we should have Cam Clark and Ferguson both returning from IR at some point, who are down as left guards.
Yeah.
One of them has got to be able to play the right side. They have to be, because if Fant goes back to right and plays the way he's done, you've got to think he has not allowed a pressure or a sack while he's been playing.
On the left.
Yeah, he went out for, I think it was 3-4 plays, and they got round and got through. I mean, it was Chuma Odoga. We know he's not the strongest, but it showed you that actually George Fant is playing a very, very good game.
AVT.
Yeah, AVT. He got 1 holding call. Did you see why he was holding? Did you watch it back? Well, you haven't watched it back, have you?
No.
He's holding because Chuma Odoga went 2 steps instead of 1 and left a big gap. So he held him so he couldn't get through the gap. So, yeah, it was a stupid flag. But it was a stupid flag that was necessary to stop his quarterback getting wiped out. So I'll take that. AVT was, he's solid.
Yeah, he's still got like a top 12 or something guard rating in the league in his first year, which you'll take that any day.
Yeah. Like it's like we said last year with the guards. If you were told you could have got that grade, you would have took anybody a lot higher. We got him 11, the same place as we picked Becton.
Yeah.
Excuse me, boys.
So,
yeah. Now,
Elijah Moore.
What was that?
Elijah Moore.
Right, now this one for me, right? This is what wound me up at the weekend when everybody was on a downer. Yeah. Did anybody not see how fast he ran? He ran through people. He was that fast. I thought he was on the Enterprise. He was that fast. And nobody gave him any props for it. They were like, oh, yeah, he scored. Yeah, it was. At the end of the day, it meant nothing. But it meant something to him. It was his first.
It's confidence.
And what I really liked is, and I don't know why we've not been doing it more, which they do a lot in San Francisco, which is, the play he scored on, there's all these motions and stuff like the backfield.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, exactly what he scored on. Just getting your best players the ball, what New England do as well, and I just get them on the ball, and I feel like we're going to get plays like that every week.
Yeah. See, now the reason they played that role, that play there, was you just brought Mike White in, who is going to be well nervous compared to everybody else because it's Mike White. I mean, he's been in the league, I think, 4 years. That was his first proper snap.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't want him throwing while he's in the red zone. Like, you don't want his first pass to be in the red zone where, let's face it, he could have been picked off.
Yeah.
But that motion we'd never done. We'd never shown anybody it.
That's what they did with him in college as well. They'd put him everywhere and anywhere, motioned him, let him run the ball, put him everywhere. That's how they should use him.
But now we've shown that Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, and Ty Johnson can play outside. They can play as a back. It's an interesting dynamic that we've got to be looking at now. Going, quite like the look of this, because if we're being honest, Mike White, Ty Johnson, and Elijah Moore, who were in on that play, they're used to playing together because they're the second team run-offs.
Yeah.
So they've practiced that. They have that familiarity. But yeah, I think seeing him run was where all of a sudden we were like, you know what? That's what he's got, and we haven't seen that before. When it comes to the wide receivers, Corey Davis needs to improve. I don't care if he's in double man. He's meant to be a number one wide receiver. He can't, at the minute, he can't get separation. When he does, I mean, his touchdown, he could have been done for pass interference there, if we're being honest. We definitely got let off because we were getting battered. If that had been a tight game, there'd have been more yellow on the field than at a Simpsons festival. Right? It just would not happen. But he's recorded the most drops in the league so far.
Really?
And he's meant to have the best hands. So then you've got to look at it, don't you?
And doesn't do like he'll make the tough catch, but not like as much like after the passes. I feel like he used to do in Tennessee, where he'd run over someone and get you like 20, 30 yards. Don't feel like maybe in the Tennessee game, but apart from that, we'll just drop balls and a couple of 10-yard passes, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, they haven't got that second wide receiver, have they? We've got all these third wide receivers.
We still have wide receivers that they have to cover.
Yeah.
So yeah, he might get double teamed. I mean, I didn't see many double teams on him last week, to be honest. But Crowder wasn't great. Crowder was a bit lost for me. Obviously, Carter and Johnson, we both know they balled out. Well, all three of us know, sorry. That they balled out. We saw that in receiving.
Yeah, they got the most receiving yards.
Yeah. So then you've got Moore and Mims. Cole was non-existent again.
Yeah. I think he caught one or two.
He got that pass interference at just on the play that Zach got injured, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't play a player just to get flags, in my opinion. I mean, Mims, I think he was targeted about 4 times. He received 1, but he showed positivity, which, I mean, I've questioned his effort a few times. I couldn't question his effort this time. He went up strong, and if he hadn't have been 2-manned all over, he would have came down with the ball. But yeah, for me, Corey Davis, I know he's scored the most touchdowns and he's got the most yards for the season, but he needs to find a new gear.
I definitely think we need another wide receiver 1.
Yeah, to kind of take it off him.
Because at Tennessee, he had AJ Brown, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's what Elijah Moore was meant to be. But then, why is Elijah not getting the games? Obviously, we can't do a game review and not talk about LaFleur. He does, excuse me, does look a little bit lost. I have this feeling that he needs to go in the booth and watch from above, because I don't think he's seeing the defense enough. Well,
the game script didn't work, did it? Anyway, the 2 runs and getting 3rd and long. They're pretty uninspired in general, and I think he said that I was trying to get Zach warmed up, but you can't really get him warmed up on runs, and I don't think he's creating those easy passes and just trying to get move the chains. It's all. I'm not a fan so far, anyway.
Well, it seems like the same stuff every game.
Yeah.
Same passes, same runs.
Zach's always rolling out looking for the massive play, and it's like, where's the Mac Jones 2-second pass?
Off the press conferences, everybody's really happy with that first drive. Because they did what they thought they were going to do, and they learned.
They did something. Still didn't score points, but they did something.
Well, yeah, it's one of them for me. Like the whole game, when you go through it, the Patriots only had 12, 13 more players than us.
Yeah, and the time was quite the same as well.
Yeah, their yardage was obviously insane, 551 total yards.
Yeah,
and we were 299, which is insane. Penalties were about even, but we had 3 turnovers. Now, I'm never going to grumble when we go for 4th down if we don't get it, because I'm the one that goes, you've got to be more aggressive.
No, it's more than NFL, isn't it? Going for it on 4th down, really.
Yeah.
It's got to be that changes the game if you get it.
But I think we got 3rd down 7 times. We haven't done that for the rest of the season, I don't think. It's just one of them that, yes, it was awful to watch. Yes, it was an awful, but the positives that we've took out of it and the steps that were forward, the Zach injury is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But actually, Mike White came in and he executed plays. I mean, he didn't execute all of them.
Serviceable,
Yeah, like if next, like in 6 weeks' time, Zach takes a tough hit and has to sit out for 1 series, I'm not going to be upset and be like, "Oh God, the game is over," because they're bringing in Mike White.
Yeah.
He commanded it well. He spoke well. I hate the little dog leg he does before he hits the ball, but I can get past that. It's weird. It's like he calls the person to run and like motion with his foot. It's weird. Now, obviously, a lot came out of the game, other than the scoring, the heartbreak, and the suicidal fans. Jamie Sherwood out for the year, busted Achilles. Very sad. Like I say, he was holding his own against some of the better linebackers in our core.
Yep.
And we actually looked at him above Quincy to call plays. And Quincy's a 5-year vet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good for him.
It was our dream team, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was our dream team, Jamie and Ham and Mosley.
Yeah.
It's just not happened.
He's going to be out now for the year, which we're already in depleted. Obviously, we mentioned Cashman. He's out with concussion.
Mm-hmm.
CJ's day-to-day. We should find out Wednesday when he's back at practice, but they believe he'll be back for the weekend. Jamie Davis should be back this week.
Jared Davis.
Sorry?
Jared Davis.
Jared Davis season. Jamie and Sherwood, isn't it? Yeah. As you can tell, I'm a bit fluffy tonight. Yeah, so he's back, but they said he may not practice fully Wednesday and Thursday, so we might not know about him till Friday.
Yeah.
We've got Ashton, Marcus May. They're both back. They're going to be exactly where they were this week. I haven't.
Quincy's in concussion protocol.
Yeah. So now we're looking at CJ. Ham could be back, but it's doubtful for this week, but more than likely for next.
Mm-hmm.
So the linebacker core is a bit, well, it is thin. They are allegedly working out linebackers today and Wednesday. I haven't seen anything yet, but then again, I've not really been looking either.
Could be quite rough if we don't get it. If everyone's out still. That'd be worse.
I mean, it could be, but actually, it's one of them where it's often when we're like this that something awesome happens. I mean, look
P. Ryan starts.
What was that?
P. Ryan starts and runs 200 yards.
It's one of those games where nobody in the Jets world is expecting anything this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're injury ridden. We've got 41 million of cap on IR. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But
the Rams game last year,
Yeah, that's exactly that. Now
play the games, as they say.
Yep.
Obviously today, the Jets have signed Joe Flacco for a conditional 6th round pick to the Eagles, which, depending on playing time, could turn into a 5th.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's going to turn into a 5th.
It'd be silly to do that.
Well, it's one of them where I don't think he's there to be a player. I think he's there to be a guide. And if shit goes wrong, he'll be brought in. Now, a lot of people are happy about it because we could have signed him before we released him and let him go to free agency. Now,
it would have been more money.
Well, yeah, he wanted 3.5 million for the year. That was when he was desperate and went to the Eagles, right? So he will have wanted 4 to 5, I would say, from the Jets, right? 4 to 5 for a backup in a system that he's not 100% sure with, but he's played a similar system, so he understands it. Now, the way it worked when he signed for the Eagles, as far as I'm aware now, I'm not 100% on this, but this is the way it's kind of worked out off what I've read. They signed him to a 1-year, 3.5 million deal that was fully guaranteed. They've paid him, I think it's 1.4 this year, and then deferred the rest over the next 3 years when he doesn't even play for them. So when we've took him, all we have to pay for is the remainder of this season from now till the end, because the rest of it was deferred from them off his signing bonus. So we should only be playing really around about 600, 700,000 for him.
It's good business.
Well, put it into context. We pay Matt Amendola 6.6. Sorry, 660,000. So we've just got a veteran quarterback, Super Bowl winner, almost coach because he's old enough, for the same price as a rookie kicker. And we give away a sixth that, let's face it, there will be more deals done before next week's deadline. I've got no doubt that six will come back somewhere along the line.
It's only a sixth.
Well, there's a few players that are actually going free agency next year that I didn't actually think about.
I haven't even looked yet.
I looked the other day and I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I didn't, when you look at it and you go, I didn't realize that they were all up.
Yeah.
But there is a few. And I was like,
the big ones this year.
Well, 1 second, I will tell you. I've got the list here.
Oh, some breaking news, by the way.
What's
the combine's going ahead next year at Indy.
Amazing. I've already put it in my diary, so I was quite glad about that. Right, so free agency.
Can't wait to watch the combine again.
Right, so we have pending free agency that's not right. Right, we've got 25 going in 2022. No, that's not been updated. Sorry, guys. It's still got Franklin Myers on there, who we all know has been signed. So, yeah, it's not updated, so that's fine. But yeah, we've got Croft. We have Crowder. Then I think Griffin's on a 1 year. Dan Brown's on a 1 year. There's quite a few players. Davis, linebacker. He's going free agent.
He's a 1 year.
So you look at him and go, well, if he ain't performing in the next few weeks, well, if he's not going to get, do we trade him or do we just cut him at the end of the year? It's a difficult one at the minute.
You can trade all of them first, three or four. That's fine. I'll keep Daniel Brown.
Obviously, Marcus May is available to because I can't see us franchising next year.
No, well, he plays like obviously he had high tackles, but he didn't have the greatest performance, did he, on Sunday? It doesn't seem like you want to pay him top.
Well, a lot of people are saying that Tampa Bay might come in for him.
Yeah. I've seen Chiefs as well.
Yeah, both teams need secondary. The Tampa one, obviously, it's Todd Bowles is there, and he loved Marcus May. So we can get better out of that, I think. And I don't see us not taking it if the deal's right. Because let's face it, we know that this year is pretty much done now.
He's done his best to get kicked off the team. Well, traded anyway, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, did he?
I don't know. His agent was.
Yeah, a lot of it. It's one of those where I look at it and go, we can't say he did or he didn't because it's too much hearsay and it's Twitter. You know how I feel about Twitter. Most of the stuff on there, bollocks. Yeah, I just go on it and get in a mood because I hate most of the statements on there. But it's one of them where I'm happy with the Mosley with the Flacco situation. It's a return of the Flack in it. I don't think he'll play this week. I think he'll sit on the bench. This week will be tough.
I want Josh Johnson to play, man. He looked good in pre-season.
Yeah. I mean, he's a perennial holder, isn't he? Let's see if he can. I mean,
got nothing to lose.
Well, that's it. Now, looking at it, what we need the Lions to win one.
Yeah.
But I suppose
the picks.
I thought they can win one. I mean, although they pulled everything out against the Rams and still lost by 8. But they're going to win a couple this year, I think. Well, yeah. So
well, we'll keep an eye out on that. And thanks for joining us, guys, and we will speak to you soon.